Hi everybody, welcome to another CD Finds. And this particular CD Finds are going to have box sets in it. Okay, I'm really into CDs now. Really taking over from vinyl, although I did buy some vinyl, and in the videos to come, you're going to see some of that vinyl. But CDs, I think, are becoming my preferred method of really listening to the music. Now, what happened was I actually decided to sell some CDs that I had, and they were all, get ready for this, John Lennon CDs. Wait a minute. Did he really say that? Let me play that back. Did he say that he sold John Lennon CDs? Yes, I did. They were 6 CDs that I sold, and these CDs were Japanese CDs with the Obi strip. And I realized, this is what I'm trying, if I can, to get out of buying a lot of things, reissues of things that I'm not really going to use, but I'm just going to have them because they're cool. And I thought those John Lennon CDs at the time were cool, and it was nice to have them with the Japanese Obi strip and this and that. You know, there are always going to be items that we as collectors collect just to have because they're cool, they're nice, we want to own them. But I'm trying in a lot of cases with the music to be more practical now. So I went to the first store. I went to 2 record stores. The first record store I went to and had 6 CDs. I was looking for about $50 for them because you got to understand there's a resale. They have to resell them, make a profit. So I'm looking to get 50 for myself out of this. Well, the first store only offered me $25 for the 6 discs, and I said, no, that's not going to fly. I'm sorry. So I went to the second store and said, well, see if they could do better. And the second store I went to, second store said, I'm sorry. I just looked at them and said, I'm sorry, I can't use these. So the second store didn't want to give me anything. So I thought to myself, these really aren't really worth that much, I guess. And after a while, I told the guy that the first store had offered me 25, and he said to me, well, in that case, I'd give you 35 for them. I'd go up to 35. So after all was said and done, we wound up making a deal. I got 2 box sets of CDs in trade, and I think I came out ahead of the game. First of all, let me show you this that I'm very proud of having found at the second store. It's the Frank Sinatra Capitol albums, concept albums. The concept albums from Capitol that Frank did. And, before I show you these, I'm going to go through them all. They're not going to be in any kind of order. They're all here in there. But I want to just flip through them, and I want to tell you, lately I've been getting into Sinatra again a little bit. Now, a while ago, I sold off, I had all the Frank Sinatra Capitol albums on vinyl. A lot of them were the original gray labels, light gray label. They were a nice collection to have. I played some of them, but I ultimately purged them. Now I got them all back. Now, I don't have the vinyl. Now get a load of this. I'm actually thinking of maybe eventually, if they're cheap enough, gradually buying back some of these vinyl albums because they're still LPs I like to have, just to have. But let's go with these. As I say, they're not all necessarily in the right order. Talking about Swing Easy. That's a beautiful cover. Love that. And by the way, these, as you can see, these are in the cardboard. They look like original miniature albums in the wee small hours. Beautiful artwork on these. That's why the vinyl is worth owning, just even for the attraction of the cover art, right? I always say I like jewel cases better. I prefer plastic jewel cases to cardboard. But when you have album replicas like this, looks like, mini LPs. When you have these album replicas like this, and they're housed in a special box like this, I'm actually okay with the cardboard. I actually am. I'd rather have, say, these miniature album CDs rather than something like this. That's a clumsy, cardboard digipack. So you can't even close it right. This is on the top. All right. Anyway, let's continue. Close to You. So glad that I'm able to get these Again, it's like weird because I wound up getting these in essence for free. A swinging affair. Um, think about how great it is that I got these. Where are you? Because it didn't cost me anything. I got them for nothing. I took 6 CDs, the John Lennon Japanese CDs that were just hanging around. By the way, in the last video, if you watch my CD finds, I don't have it handy, but I got a special double CD of this. Now I got this again here. So I went, CDs, the Lennon imports that really weren't doing anything. They were just for eye candy. You know, Come Dance With Me. No One Cares. Nice and Easy. Able to get all the Frank Sinatra concept Capitol albums for free, just for 6 CDs together and dust, the John Lennon imports. This is a swinging session. This is a good one. Okay, Come Swing With Me, Sinatra. Point of No Return. And finally, the one that everybody raves about, Songs for Swinging Lovers. And I am so thrilled that just like that, rather than spending, a lot more money on getting all the ones on vinyl for these, I wound up just getting a box set for a trade. Stuff that I wasn't going to use, and I turned it into something. And this is a booklet that comes with it. You get a booklet on top of it. So I am very happy with this purchase. Very happy with it. Beautiful set. Okay. Also, he also threw this in. This I'm a little dubious about. I'm skeptical about this one. I don't think I'm going to like this, but it came along with it. So I got the box set and this box. It's called the Columbia Years, the V discs. So 1943 to 1952 in a long box. Now, there are 2 discs in here. I think this is what he's playing for the troops, correct? These songs, I really don't expect much out of these, okay? But nevertheless, got 2 discs in there. And here's the book. Young Frank, superstar signing autographs. Everybody loves Frankie. Young Frank. Some fans out there that really know their Sinatra can talk to me about this. Let me know what I'm in for. I got an idea. All right. I just think I'm amassing quite a Sinatra collection. Now, before I go on and get past Frank Sinatra, I want to tell you about 2 other Sinatra sets that I have. These are not sets that I picked up recently. I've shown these 2 in past videos for CD finds, but because we're talking about Frank Sinatra, I also have this, the Columbia Years, Best of the Columbia Years. So I have this one. A lot of people will. There's a booklet too. The booklet is not attached. It came out. And also I have the Reprise collection. So another booklet that kind of fell out of here. But I think you can say safely that with all this stuff, I'm pretty covered with Frank. Mostly. I mean, of course, there's always going to be other things that I don't have on these discs. And I'm not saying I necessarily want everything, but this is a pretty good start. Okay, now moving on from Frank Sinatra, we have at the start of rock and roll, a box set, Bill Haley and his Comets. Look at the size of this. I showed a box this size by Leslie Gore in my last video. And this is the Deck of Years and More. It's called the Deck of Years and More. And I don't know how much Bill Haley I need, considering I only know like 4 or 5 songs. I really wonder. But this is, by the way, this is by Bear Family Records. And people were asking about the Leslie Gore one that I showed. Is that the Bear Family? Yes, it is. Leslie Gore was also Bear Family. And let's take a look at this. Here is the booklet. And these things are worth it just for the book. I don't even know where to begin with this stuff. There's so much to look at in these books. Now, when I looked at the song listings here, the thing is, there was a song that I liked on a 78 that I have. I had a 78 RPM called Crazy Man Crazy, and that's not on here. And we got 5 discs. This is a 5-disc set of Bill Haley and his Comets. And this is in the same style that we have. There are 4 discs here, which I'm going to try to show best I can. And here's the disc that was hiding below. Bill Haley, what a collection, huh? I'll get to these, yes I will. But the question is, how much Bill Haley does one need? That is the question. So we'll have to find out about that. So anyway, I thank you all for watching. I'm going to have a lot more CD finds to come. And I'm also going to have some vinyl finds. And please stay tuned. You know, you never know what I'm going to show here and what I'm going to talk about. I also have an interesting first listen, an album that I listened to for the first time by somebody. And I'll tell you who it is. Bob Dylan. It's a Bob Dylan first time spins of an album that I've never heard before. And I've heard most of Dylan's stuff. So please subscribe. Please like the video. And I'll talk to you soon.